To be quite honest with you, I'm 61, and I never thought I would see anything in my lifetime. I figured I would long pass before anything such as this has occurred. So this in and of itself is a wonderful, emotional time for us.
Now let's just turn to Mark Solomon, who is from the Freedom to Marry National Campaign and a veteran of 10 years of fighting for same-sex marriage rights. It is indeed a historic day, as this gentleman was just telling us here, Mark. I mean, for you, what does it all mean?
Well, it's absolutely historic. The fact that the U.S. Supreme Court is considering our fundamental freedom to marry and whether gay and lesbian couples can be excluded from that freedom. It's a really exciting, monumental day, and one that we think will prevail on.
Well, I mean, but there are some risks for your side of the argument here, are there not? I mean, if indeed Prop 8 is upheld, what does that mean for you? And as you probably heard from Peter, there's various ways in which they could rule on that. Does this bother you?
Well, it's the way the court system works. There are always various outcomes. I think one of the strongest things, aside from the law, in addition to the law, we have public opinion that is strongly our way. We now have the Washington Post poll from last week showed that 58% of same-sex couples, or 58% of Americans believe same-sex couples should have the freedom to marry, and 81% of young Americans, 18 to 29, believe that gay couples should have the freedom to marry.
What about in California itself, where this law was passed in 2008, and we've actually seen a public opinion, certainly in these these national polls, shift pretty quickly. What's the standing in California now in terms of what support there is or isn't for Prop 8?
The latest polls I've seen show that more than 60% of Californians support the freedom of gay couples to marry. So there's been a really seismic shift over the past few years in every demographic group, not just young people, seniors, Republicans, Catholics, every religious group.
And what if I suppose let's turn to the DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, and if that were to be upheld, what would that do to this movement, which has seen 9 states take up this cause? Does that in any way put something in the tracks for that process?
Well, if DOMA is upheld, I mean, I'd say I don't expect DOMA to be upheld, and 10 courts have already ruled that the Defense of Marriage Act is unconstitutional. So we really don't, we think we have a very strong case that same-sex married couples in New York, who are treated as legal strangers by their federal government, should be treated just as heterosexual couples. There are no, we don't think there should be any second-class marriages in this country.
So certainly some momentous issues on the table.